Hello, my friends. Welcome to Lean and Clean with Fitness Chef Christine. I am Christine, your host, and today I really want to talk to you about your self-esteem, self-love, however you want to call it. This may not be the most exciting podcast topic, but I do think it's the most important. I want you to lose, not weight, I want you to lose the weight of other people's opinions. And here's why. I have spent the last 6 years coaching women, talking to women about fat loss, about primarily perimenopausal to menopausal, about really trying to get a handle on their weight and how they feel about themselves. And I can tell you that even if you start to feel great about what you're doing, there's always going to be the naysayers. There's always going to be telling you there's a different way to do something. And this can make you go crazy. I know it has for me. So for probably the last 5 years, I have been a macros-based coach. That means that you log everything into like MyFitnessPal or Chronometer, or there's just many programs, Lose It, any one of those. You look at how much of your protein you're having, how much fat, how much carbohydrates. And while this is super useful information, and I do think it's a worthwhile thing to do, I also think there are some pitfalls. And why do that? Because then you're so focused on your foods. It almost becomes an obsession. How close can I get to the number? How close? And the reason that I coach people to do that is so they had an awareness of what they were eating. It wasn't to further their obsession or really, so I wanted them to have results. And you definitely can get results this way. And I'm not slamming anybody that does this. It's a good technique and it's a good tool to have. But as I've progressed in my own journey, that hasn't been the way I've decided to go. And when I ate junk food all the time and I drank Diet Coke and I never drank water, nobody seemed to really care. They would say you should drink more water, but nobody ever mentioned the fact that I wasn't eating nutritious foods or that I was constantly eating the baked goods that I baked when I owned the bakery. Nobody said anything about that. But the minute I tried to get healthier, people will be like, ooh, that's a lot of fat, or oh wow, you're having a lot of protein, that could really affect your body. Everybody became an expert. And it didn't matter how many classes I took or how much knowledge I possessed, somebody had a different idea. So moving forward, I've been very candid about my journey and moving towards keto carnivore and the reasons why I chose to do that. One of them is because I have logged my food forever and it becomes exhausting. And to the point where I was always thinking about food. And then I developed some really unusual for me leg cramps and neuropathy and just some really big inflammation and problems. And in the past, I have had tons and tons of vegetables every day. I was a veggies most person for years, and there's nothing wrong with it. I still believe that. And I'm never judging somebody for how they choose to eat. So the best nutrition in the world is something that you can stick to. Saying that though, I do believe that we need to get back to eating the way that our ancestors ate, the way my great-grandparents ate, the way my grandfather ate. My grandfather lived to 104 years old, just short of 104. He was 103 in just a couple days would be 104. And that is amazing. And I remember when he was turning about 100, the doctor told him, you need to stop eating butter and you need to stop drinking alcohol. And he said, why? My goal is to get to my wife who passed away. And I just remember they ate so much according to the seasons. Like they didn't eat out of season fruits and vegetables, and they didn't eat out of season meats. They bought meats from the local meat producers and they grew their own vegetables, so they knew when they were in season, and that's what they ate. My grandparents had 7 kids, so they were really used to that lifestyle. And I think back to that and I think, okay, they didn't track macros and they definitely didn't have a weight problem. So what has changed? What's changed is our food system, right? We've had all this mass-produced foods and all the kinds of preservatives and definitely the way things are processed foods that they didn't have back then. So my goal then became to eat like my ancestors. So eat the meat, eat the cheeses, and I don't eat a lot of cheese, but I do have some. And I do have some treats every now and again that I make that are sugar-free. I use allulose, monk fruit, and stevia, and erythritol, all good. But for me, that causes more of a sugar craving and it makes my taste buds get a little prickly. So allulose is the one that I choose to use because it's digestive easier. But I do keep that under control. I don't have a lot of it. So primarily I'm eating meat and some berries and cheeses, and that's it. And I'll tell you, my inflammation has gone down hugely. Now, I always like to keep my weight under control, but without tracking a single thing, without doing anything different. In fact, I even cut back on my workouts because I was traveling and I was helping my sister-in-law. She had a hysterectomy. And so I didn't work out the whole week that I was there. And over this last 3 months, so since September, I gave up sugar, and then I slowly, gradually worked my way into this. I've now lost a little over 20 pounds without it being difficult. Once I dropped the sugar and my insulin stopped going every which direction, it cut out all the cravings. And in fact, I really paid attention to those hunger cues more. And sometimes I didn't have 3 meals a day. Sometimes I had 2. Sometimes I had 3. Cut out the snacking because I really just wasn't hungry. When I started out having a good, substantial breakfast with healthy fats and protein, sorry, my eyes are very itchy, then I just was not hungry until much later in the afternoon. So sometimes I wouldn't eat lunch until 3 or 4 o'clock, and then I just didn't bother with dinner because it's so close to dinner time. And sometimes I was ravenously hungry, in which case I knew I need to have bigger meals, because if you're super hungry within a good 5-hour chunk of time, it indicates that you didn't have enough. And I never counted my calories, but I could put away a big steak. I'm not a small eater, I'm a big eater, I'm a volume eater. I like food. I was a chef, so I really love food. So for me, this has been something very easy. My inflammation has gone down a great deal. Not the end of my problems. I still have all the muscle cramping, and I've been working with the doctor to do all this. So for me, it's been a journey, just like all of my weight loss. When I was 49 to 50, I lost 50 pounds, and I was able to keep that out for a really long time. But now my goal is more health oriented. Like, it's always been, how can I stay as healthy as long as possible? So if I live to 100, I want to live to 100 and be healthy and be active. I don't want to be stuck in a chair. I don't want to be stuck in a bed. I want to be the most active older person I can possibly be, whatever weight, whatever age God grants me to have. And I want to eat as close to natural as possible. I've shared with you my adventures at the farmer's market, which I love to go because I love to know where my meat's coming from. I love to know where my cheeses are made. I like to know what the vegetables are that are in season. It's really a fun adventure. And I really tell you, find a farmer's market or find a local producer that you can deal with. I bought $200 worth of beef, pork, and chicken this week. It is a huge box. When you buy it from the farmer, you get so much more. And the quality is so much better because you can actually see how the animals are raised and how humanely they're butchered. And it just really, it's great. And they use every part of the animal. They have tallow and they have soaps and they have all this stuff. But I digress. The point being is, really, I want you to think about, if you start today, right? We're at December 1st and you started, I guess tomorrow. If you start tomorrow and you say, I am really going to give this a shot. I'm going to give it 30 days. That's all I'm asking you to do. Try it for 30 days, right? So just have protein and healthy fats. Healthy fats being olive oil, butter. Your protein, I primarily have beef, but you could have whatever. You could have ground beef, ground lamb. I had some lamb chops today. I really like to have bison, which is actually in my local store. They have it fresh. So you have to see what you have available, but anything that you can kill and process is also a good thing to have. But again, I want you to concentrate on having that really big portion, whether it's first thing in the morning or if you're an afternoon eater, however you want to do that. But 2 big meals and maybe a small meal with no snacks in between. Drinking lots of water, getting some electrolytes in. This has been key for my muscle cramping. Even though I've been drinking a gallon of water for probably the last 5-6 years, my electrolytes have come all over the place. Part of that is hormonal, as the doctor has mentioned. So I now do 2 electrolyte tablets a day, and that has really helped me. There's some great electrolyte drinks out there. You just want to make sure they don't have sugar. Electrolyte water is great. So you've got lots of options, but definitely get those electrolytes in there that will help you feel super energetic. And let's face it, you might go through a crash if you give up sugar cold turkey. It's just going to happen. It happened to me, and I had very little sugar when I started that, so I know it's going to happen. But you can deal with it because the end goal is that you are going to have more energy. You are going to feel better. But I'm not gonna lie, it's not easy. The change is not easy, but it's totally worth it. You will feel like, wow, how did I make this so complicated? And if you have trouble, you can reach out to me because I'm happy to help you. I'm involved in a lot of keto carnivore groups. I just started one of my own. There are myself and my husband are my only members at this point, but I'll drop a link below if you want to join me. And I want to challenge you to do 30 days of this. You will come out the other side, and I don't think you'll ever want to go back. And if you do, so what? You've tried it. You've got nothing lost, right? My son is down just about 30 pounds or more. My husband, although he has not weighed himself, definitely feeling his clothes fit better. I can get into jeans that I haven't gotten into in quite some time. But more importantly is things are getting better from an inflammation standpoint. That menopause belly is definitely going down. And that to me is a win. I don't always rely on the scale because the scale tends to play mind games with me, even though I've been at this game a long time. I do use the Happy Scale app to log so I can see an average weight. So I know that directionally I'm going okay, but I have given up the macros tracking. If I feel like, am I really getting enough? I may plug it in for a day and just get an idea of, okay, definitely having enough protein and fat. But most of all, I just trust my intuition and listening to my hunger cues. I guarantee if you start eating this way, you won't have to worry about tracking anymore. You'll just be done. Calories are just a thing of the past. Calories just do not matter. I'm gonna be honest with you. Your ancestors didn't count calories. They didn't go around, oh my gosh, how many grams are in this? They didn't do that. They just ate till they were full or when they had food available, and then they moved on to the next day, carried on with their activities. That's what we're going for. All right, let me know if you're gonna give it a shot. Let me know if you have questions. I'm here to help. It's free, so make sure you subscribe and we'll keep in touch. And I wanna hear all of your great stories. I wish you every bit of health. I pray for each and every one of you. All of my listeners become my family, and I will drop links below to my groups, and see you next episode. Bye.